3.5 minutes for one intro. Come on, Jeff. Good morning. Evening, guys, sorry. Good evening, guys. Let that focus on my face, thank you. The glow from my computer still. I'm actually making the thumbnail for yesterday's video because I didn't get to when I went to work earlier. And I noticed that YouTube actually set the thumbnail as me just going, and that's almost never my intention. If you ever see just a complete random thumbnail like that, trust me, that's not me. That's either me being lazy and just uploading the vlog right away, or I'm rushing to work and I can't get to it right away. But either way, I'm gonna change it later. Sometimes I get really lucky and they actually pick a really good thumbnail for me to use and I just leave it as is, but most of the time I usually intend to come back to it and reset it. Long story short, I just want to set the record straight that I realized I named yesterday's vlog Blowing Up the Pumpkin, and I don't really want anyone to feel like that was supposed to be clickbait, because in retrospect, technically it wasn't clickbait because I was talking about blowing it up. I mean, I didn't really say the words blowing it up, but we're talking about target practice here, which is most likely going to be with a shotgun. We've got a couple guns that you guys have seen in the past that we're most likely going to use to actually use the pumpkins for target practice. We've done it before, we will most likely do it again this weekend, I'm hoping for. But again, to keep a long ramble short, that was not intended to be clickbait. It might have seemed like it, but it was not intended in any way to be clickbait. I did talk about using those for target practice, and they're most likely actually going to be blown up some way this weekend. I almost don't even like the fact that everything is considered clickbait these days, you know? I mean, yes, do most YouTubers use kind of clickbaity titles and simply a title that would literally grab your attention? Absolutely, but that's for a solid reason. There are some YouTubers that take it way too far and they're way too clickbaity, like, dude, that has literally nothing to do with the video. You shouldn't have named the video that. You're obviously way too desperate for views. Like, there's no, that's just no. But then there's videos like, you know, what Charles and Allie post, or what his friend Danny posts, Danny Duncan, Roman Atwood. He's got some pretty good videos that I like to say aren't clickbaity. I definitely see some people in the comments from time to time saying that that was clickbait, but you know, if you use the title just the right way, you know, just to grab people's attention, get them to watch the video, what's the harm? If they don't like it, then they don't like it. But to go as far to say clickbait just because it grabbed their attention, they clicked on it, hey, clickbait is some stupid website that you see on Facebook or on Google, and you just should not click on that. Like, I'm not even going to mention any of the names that the most ridiculous freaking clickbaity articles, and yet some people actually click on those, whether they think they're real or they just don't care. And yes, I do realize I'm kind of pacing right now, I'm sorry, but I had to think about this one just a little bit. Clickbait is a really rough term now on YouTube. How many of you are very familiar actually with clickbait on Facebook? Like, you'll have websites like The Onion or, you know, Daily News or whatever. There's a lot of really crappy websites that are genuine over-the-top clickbait, and for some reason some people buy it. Sometimes it's just to make a joke. They'll catch your attention, like they'll make it look like it's one huge article. You'll click on it and it's just one picture with one thing, and they're like, you clicked on it. There's clickbait, and then there's just these people just want to grab your attention for their videos. And some YouTubers have just taken it way too far. And those YouTubers that take their clickbait really, really far are what's killing YouTube now. Like, people don't believe anything they see anymore. Like, they see somebody might get a divorce and they click on it like, we would never get a divorce. Okay, now wait a minute. Let's dive into this just a little bit more. Watch the video. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous. Like, okay, that's two different things, Jeff. Come on. Don't tell me that's not clickbait. Watch the video. I like to believe if it's actually in the video, they do talk about the subject itself, it's not clickbait. The subject itself is in the title. This argument could go on for so long. So many people have different opinions. My opinion stands, as I've repeated for God knows how long now. Like, please guys, share your thoughts about clickbait. Like, what do you think about all this? Transitioning I'm gonna sit down now, sorry. Dylan actually brought it up to me today after I got home from work about the wireless charging. Now, personally, I was actually imagining in my head that there was some big wireless pad, or this just simple like pad with a really tiny cord that plugged into the wall. It was like some big genuine charging station, not just for your phone, but like if you wanted to help your friends charge their phones if they had an iPhone X as well, etc., etc., family and friends. I'm not talking about the size of my bungee chair here, definitely not. More like the size of this seat here. And yes, I did just go to the extra length to actually like explain like what I was imagining. Like you plug the pad into the wall and you could just lay your phone on it and it'll charge. That's what I was imagining in my head, and who knows, maybe they'll actually develop that. And it won't have any flaws or kinks or glitches, and it'll actually be pretty amazing, and everybody could use it and it'd be just fantastic. Not just you, like you could use it obviously, but like if you're having a party and everyone's over and everybody needs to charge, like they could all put their chargers on it, like that'd be pretty cool. But from what Dylan actually showed me, it's just a tiny little thing. I mean, it's still kind of like a pad, but it's basically a magnet that you stick to your phone and it charges it. Now, Dylan, I hope you genuinely don't mind me taking any of your words here, but as far as he's concerned, the only fault is it ruins your battery. Like whatever, your Apple Watch, your iPhone, whatever you're using to charge it with, it shortens the battery life by a lot. I have loads of respect for that. Like that actually sounds pretty cool. Like I'm just not as into it. Like that's not something I'm personally into. It's a lot less lame than I thought it was. But if they could find like a way to, what I was talking about with like a bigger pad, I would even keep the magnet idea and just keep the magnet idea, because what if, you know, it slides off the table or it falls off your bed or whatever, you know, like it slides off of everything. That's going to be one of the biggest faults. I know, regardless of the technology in it, like the biggest fault would be that it just slides off no matter what. I would keep the magnet idea there so that it actually like somewhat sticks on the pad, so if something happens, it's still there. It didn't really break it. Holy crap, these are all really long rants. I mean, the ultimate futuristic thing here would be if they didn't have a pad at all. They just had some kind of, there's like a wireless adapter you just plug into the wall, and if your phone's anywhere near that, like you don't have to put it on anything, you can just lay it wherever you want. And if your phone's anywhere near that adapter, like you have to set it up specifically to that adapter too. Like you don't, like it's not just anything. This is easily hackable, whatever, blah blah blah. You have to set your phone up to it, like sync it or something. And whenever your phone is close enough to it or in the area, it'll keep it charged. It'll charge it, or not even charge it, but like keep the charge. You know what I mean? I don't even know if any of this makes sense. I need to just stop talking now.